I mean, first of all, I love to be in New York, and second of all, I love to meet people who love music. And come into this place, everything comes together. It's really, really nice. I was amazed by the idea of having a DJ school at all, because I was like, how can you teach someone to be a DJ? Isn't that a profession which just comes, you know? Which was a stupid thought, actually, because it's not. Of course you can teach that. Of course you can teach the fundamentals. And I would have loved at that moment, as I started to be a DJ, if somebody would have been there to like tell me the basics. You teach the fundamentals. You teach the people what it's all about, and where they take it, it's up to them. You know. The first key thing is, if you really want to get somewhere, is to define your own style. Do not start to copy anybody. You can look what other people are doing, but only sort of in order to fine-tune or calibrate whatever you want to do. So here we are at Cielo in New York City, and it's the kickoff of the 10-year CLR anniversary party. So I'm really looking forward to be right here in that beautiful club. It's one of the clubs in New York, so let's have a good night. I never really had the idea of making a living out of this, never ever. But at some point I was sitting at university and I was like, I'm not feeling happy here. I'm looking around like, this is not really my thing. What am I gonna do? And at that point somebody offered me to basically take care of a club. It was around 93, 94, and I got into techno music at that time. Nobody ever would book me as a DJ, you know, so the only way to play is to do your own club, book yourself as a DJ. So that's what I did, and that was sort of the beginning. So that was my first little DJ school. I actually do remember the very first night I did play a techno set, like all night long, which was the 23rd of January 1994. My favorite mixing desk is the Allen & Heath X192. That's perfectly made for the purpose how I use it. I used two Allen & Heath 1Ds as controller for Tractor, which is on my right-hand side. The computer is running Tractor Pro. On the left-hand side is the computer running Ableton, and on the Ableton I have the machine connected as a plugin. And I have a little Fader Fox controller to control my effects, which I run via send and return into input channels of Ableton. And the Tractor is syncing the Ableton. It's pretty simple, basically, but it gives you all the options. I think the fundamental idea of beat matching is very essential to what I do, even that I don't have to beat match anymore. But there's a million things you can do by pressing a button. Everything is automatically synced. You can be creative in that time. You can set little loops, you can use little teeny tiny effects and subtle things here and there, and 4DX wasn't enough, so now I added the machine and a second laptop running Ableton with even more loops, with more effects on it, you know? So a whole new setup came together where everything is automatically synced. The limit is only your own creativity. This is the thing, you know? 99% of my inspiration comes out of the gigs I play. When I'm on the road on the weekends or whenever, and I play in various locations, there's always these moments when you play and everything is working, and you're just like, oh, this is exactly what I want to express. That's the same reason why I got into producing, because once you started to DJ, you wanted to define your style more and more, and you can't do that with other people's music, only to a certain point. I started CLR in '99. I ran the label just as an outlet for myself and for friends who sort of produce the music that I like. And if you look back, I mean, I'm now at release 29 and it's 10 years. So I've never really released much. We're preparing a 10-year compilation, and I've got a lot of young people in the boat now. I think in the future we'll really want to focus on getting out a bit more than I used to, like more than average 2.5 records a year, and push the techno envelope, like push it. At some point last year we were thinking like, why don't we just do a podcast, you know, like a podcast just like a radio show, 1-hour podcast with me talking about new stuff and maybe interviewing the artist. So we do this since January, and we do every Monday the CLR podcast, which you get via iTunes. Or go on my website, clr.net/podcast. Super simple. Yeah. There's 33 podcasts already. More podcasts than records. That's unbelievable. It's crazy.